Sorry, must have water. She's told me I've got time to do one quick one. So we'll just have to see how I go with this one. Now I'm aware I'm drawing a lady, and I know that this lady would have, she would have complained about having headaches. And I feel as though this lady had a series of strokes, or stroke that is a bleed in the brain, isn't it? Yeah? Yeah. I'm being made aware that she had a series of strokes, and each time she had one, she lost a little piece of who she was. And I feel with this lady that the family tried very, very hard to try and keep her and nurse her at home, but eventually they had no choice but to allow her to go into some kind of care home or hospital to be cared for. Now, I know that this lady would have had a natural wave to her hair, but when she used to go to bed on a night when she was younger, she used to put a few curlers in the front of it to add to the natural curl, so I'm being made aware. Can anybody understand this drawing so far and the information I've given so far? That's enough. I know that this lady, she would have had a lot more wrinkles than that when she passed to the spirit side of life, but I feel as though she did reach quite an elderly age. I feel as though she might have been in her mid-80s going towards the age of 90. I know she had a series of strokes, and that each time she had one of these strokes she lost a little bit of who she was. She couldn't quite remember right, she couldn't quite use her fingers right, she would have difficulty in picking things up. She went from being a lady who was quite fit and healthy, was able to physically look after herself, to being a lady who had to be looked after by the family. She was no longer able to cook for herself because she kept dropping things, and she couldn't remember. She got to the point where she couldn't even remember when she had her last meal. And when the family started seeing this going on, they had to step in and try to look after this lady. And I know that with her, it got to the point where the family could no longer look after her because she couldn't quite recognise people, and she got quite agitated with them, and they had no choice but to allow her to go into some kind of a care home or hospital. But even when she was in there, they would still visit on a regular basis. Can anybody understand that information? No?
Carol, everything you said, and she reminds me of me Nana. Everything you said just fits perfectly, and she does remind me of her. But she would never be seen without her earrings in. And that's what I'm thinking, Carol, I mean, I wouldn't come through without her
Well, I
earrings
apologise if I didn't put her earrings on. That's my fault, because I was on a time thing, so...
But I think that's probably what it is.
Can you understand the series of strokes and the family trying
every
desperately to look
Oh,
after
yes,
the lady?
Everything
Because-
you've said is
Right,
is
thank you.
spot on.
Because I just know that she really... I keep forgetting, I keep going to try and say something and then my words have disappeared from my mouth. And I know that my hands, I can't pick things up anymore, and it's like the essence of who she was just slowly and slowly slipping away. And the family, I said, desperately gathered together. I feel as though there was a meeting of everybody, and at first everybody started to take turns. Who was going to go, who was going to stay with it, and people would stay overnight and they would take turns with this lady. But eventually they had no choice because they also had their own families to deal with,
Yes.
and nobody had the time to be able to take her individually into their own home.
That's right.
You would, thank you. That makes sense. There's also something to do with this lady would wear a particular necklace
Yes.
around her neck, and I know that she would play with this necklace around her neck because I'm being made aware to play with mine. And when she, towards the last few weeks of her life, I know she would sit and she would just tug on it because it gave her comfort.
Yeah,
And you're doing the same thing. She's not the only one in the family who does it either. They also play with it. Yeah. Okay. Can you understand, before all of this happened, this lady had a very lightning quick brain.
Oh, yeah.
She was so on the ball with everything. She was so quick-witted, quick to remark, and she was a pleasant lady to be around because she had quips for everything, but it wasn't a nasty way of doing it. It was a fun, light-hearted, let's have a little banter with each other.
Yes.
She was a very fun-loving lady. Okay. I don't want to saying anything that could be classed as generic, but this lady, there should be a memory of being young with this lady and sitting on a bed, singing songs together and having your hair wrapped in rags for ringlets. Thank you. She said I had to add the song because she didn't just do it, it was we sat and sang together whilst we did this, and then she would swap places and you would try to put them into her hair as well.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. And there's also something to do with, that would be done, and then there would be a bowl brought out which would be warm. I think she put salt or something in it to put your feet in.
Yes.
You'd soak your feet, pamper your feet together, and then there would be, I don't know if it's hot cocoa or something like that before bedtime, and a hot water bottle in front of the fire with a blanket that you pre-warmed beforehand to wrap round before you went up to bed to get you warm. Yeah. So she's just bringing those in as treasured memories. And she absolutely treasured every second of it. And she just wants to bring that in at this moment in time because She just wants to be remembered for those good times, not for the ending part,
Yes.
for all of those wonderful memories she gave people before she got to that part.
Spot on, exactly.
Okay. And I know that this lady loved life to the full,
She did.
absolutely loved it to the full, and she just wants to bring that joy of life back into your life at this moment in
That's
time.
lovely.
She just wants to give you that upliftment. Know that she's around. I'll leave that lady's love with you,
That's
family.
Carol, that was lovely.
Thank you very much for
Thank
that.
you.
I am called to time, everybody. I hope you enjoyed yourself this evening. And for those who've got drawings, if you want to come up afterwards and collect them. Thank you.